In a world that's ever so digitizing, physical media is something that's very close to my heart. Though I was partly there for the VHS era, DVDs for me was where it was at. I mean, I can't even recall how many times I popped in and watched Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Though it's not my favorite, it's by far the film I've seen the most. And it was all thanks to Devastator. This is why I love DVDs, because you can watch your favorite movies whenever you want free of charge. And since I grew up with the live-action Transformers films, I have gone out of my way to collect every single one on DVD and Blu-ray in order to preserve them. However, one of these here is not like the other. That, of course, would be the Bumblebee movie. Now, you might be wondering, how is this any different? It's just another Blu-ray. And well, it all comes down to its kick-ass marketing campaign. You see, Paramount decided to have the home video release of the film come out on April 2nd, 2019, and in order to promote it, they would pull an April Fool's joke on all of us. Given that the movie is set in 1987, they took footage from the film and transformed it into an advertisement for a limited edition VHS version of the film, complete with authentic scan lines and even a cheesy voiceover. However, at the end of the advert, they would clarify that the limited edition VHS was only for promotional use and was unfortunately not available for sale. So with that said, that's the end of the story, right? The VHS was merely just an April Fool's joke to help promote the home release of the film. However, that is where you're wrong, because this tape was actually real and tons of people got their hands on one. You see, the same day that this April Fool's trailer dropped, several in-hand images of the VHS box and images of the actual tape inside, which wasn't shown off in the commercial, would spread all over Transformers news sites, media outlets, and even some content creators on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook would get their hands on a copy as well. And man, what these lucky individuals got was pretty freaking cool. You see, when it came to the VHS box, the artwork used for it all came from the DVD release of the film. However, since the VHS technically came out the day before, you could make the argument that the DVD is actually using the VHS's artwork. Now, that's something you don't see every day. However, something that differed was the back of the box, since the artwork was slightly rearranged and removed any DVD information in order to make it feel like an authentic VHS box. The back also featured two little Easter eggs. If you take a look at the UPC code, we can see the characters B127, which is obviously a nod to Bumblebee's codename in the film B127. And we can also see the characters S3C07, which is clearly a reference to Sector 7. As for the tape itself, it was pretty standard. It would feature the Bumblebee movie logo on the face and spine, and it would also have a little sticker of Bumblebee's face that referenced the iconic "Be Kind, Please Rewind" sticker. And yeah, that was basically all for the tape. However, this wasn't the only thing recipients got, since they were also gifted a folder that had the artwork from the Blu-ray version of the film on it. And inside, there was a press release with a handful of high-quality photos of iconic scenes from the film. Now, the sheer amount of effort and attention to detail put into this VHS tape, combined with the fact that people from all across the web received one, left many fans, including myself, to believe that this tape had to be way more than just an April Fool's joke, and that it had to get some sort of limited run. However, unfortunately for all of us, we would go on to learn from everyone who got a tape that what they received was only a promotional copy, and that it wasn't going to be available for sale. In the wake of this unfortunate news, a burning question still remained. Could the tape even be played? Now, the reason why this question gained so much traction among fans is because the vast majority of Transformers news sites, media outlets, and fans who received a copy admitted that they did not know if it could play or not, since they lacked a VCR to put it to the test. And you can't really blame them. After all, it was 2019, and who really had a VCR laying around then? However, the question still remained. Was the VHS a functional relic, or was it merely just a decorative piece? Well, thanks to Sabertron.com, we would get our answer. Thanks to them digitizing their press release, we would learn that Paramount themselves claimed that the limited edition VHS was indeed functional, and had the feature film in standard definition on it. Unfortunately, Sabertron.com did not post any footage of the tape in action in order to back up Paramount's claim. However, thanks to BluRay Dan on Instagram and TFU.info on YouTube, we would finally get a definitive answer, since when they popped in the tape, it actually played the movie, and interestingly enough, the tape first played the April Fool's trailer and then the feature film. Now, this is pretty interesting, since Paramount did not mention anything about the trailer being on the tape. and the tape itself says that the film is only 113 minutes, which is just the runtime of the movie. So in reality, the tape's runtime is roughly around 115 minutes, since the April Fool's trailer is around 2 minutes long. Now, a question that you might have is how many of these bad boys were produced? And well, the answer is pretty fascinating. You see, when researching this video, I stumbled upon a website operated by Jeremy McDonald, who is an award-winning director of social media and is the mastermind behind the Bumblebee VHS campaign. According to his website, he claims that hundreds of these tapes were sent out to fans, influencers, and media outlets across the internet. Unfortunately, this does not give us an exact number, but it does give us something to work with. You see, hundreds typically implies a quantity between 200 and 900. So based on this statement, it could mean that anywhere from 200 to 900 actual VHS tapes were sent out. And when trying to pinpoint the exact number of people who got a tape, I was able to confirm the existence of approximately 44 recipients, with the majority of them being on Instagram. Now, of course, this is a far cry from hundreds. However, one thing we gotta keep in mind is that this campaign happened over 4 years ago, going on 5. And since then, it's highly likely that some people who got a tape have since shut down their account, or potentially never posted about it. I mean, there are a lot of factors that can play into this. Furthermore, it's important to note that my findings are limited to the English-speaking side of things, so it's possible that these tapes were sent out to fans all across the world. And since I only know English, it's impossible for me to track down these tapes on social media sites native to non-English speakers. So in order to compensate for this limitation, I reached out to Mr. McDonald via email, asking him various questions about his campaign. Specifically, I inquired about the number of tapes manufactured and the distribution strategy used to send them out. Unfortunately, as of the time of this recording, I haven't received a response from him. So with that said, that's everything that we know about these tapes. And if you're a Transformers fan, it's highly likely that you want to get your hands on one. I know that I do, and you actually can if you have a boatload of disposable income. As of the time of this recording, only one of these tapes is up for sale on eBay for the low price of $10,000. Yeah, you heard me right, 10 grand, or you can take a shot at a best offer. However, I'm going to be real with you all. This is absolutely ridiculously overpriced for this tape. Don't even think about dropping 10 grand on this, let alone a grand. Keep in mind that this is one out of at least 200 copies, and it doesn't even come with the press kit. When doing research for this video, I was able to learn that some of the people who got a VHS copy ended up selling theirs off. Now, though all the links to these listings are now unfortunately dead, I was able to find this guy's post from 3 years ago talking about the tape. And here we can see that they showed an image of someone selling theirs off for around $400. Though I personally think that's a bit steep, it's a hell of a lot better than 10 grand. Now, if you're someone who really wants to get a copy of this tape, I would recommend reaching out to some of the people who were gifted a copy and checking in with them to see if they would be interested in selling it to you. I mean, the worst they can say is no, right? Hopefully, this video can spread some awareness around the web about this tape and its value among Transformers fans. And hey, we might even see some more listings on eBay. Let's just hope we don't see any more for 10 grand.